summertime, 4th of July, ribs, barbecue, outdoor activities. We are doing the McRib sandwich today. We wanted to get an actual McRib from McDonald's, but I guess they don't have them right now, or there's something going on in the world that's shrinking up menus and making lines really long through drive-thrus. I'm not sure what it is. But we are going to make our own McRib sandwich. We're going to be using an entire slab of ribs to do that. We, again, have never tried this, so we'll see how this goes. First, the smoker is warming up. I'll have a link to the smoker I use. A reminder, all the links we have are affiliate links. Those can help support the channel. If you click on them and make a purchase, it doesn't cost you anything, but we get a referral fee from Amazon. So it's a no-cost way to support the channel, but just as full disclosure, those links are compensation for us. Okay, so you can get a mixed rub. This is butt rub. It's not bad. It's pretty good. And we'll have a link to that as well. But you can also make your own, and it's not very tough. The rub that we are making, I got it from, I believe, Emerald, or an Emerald episode a long time ago called Rustic Rub. And if you look at a lot of rib rub recipes that you do yourself, or pulled pork or any of that, a lot of the ingredients are the same. So if you were to go out, you're going to see a lot of these ingredients. I found one that has a minimal amount of spices, and it does not have something you would typically see, brown sugar or white sugar. So there's no sugar added to this. And what we found is that by doing that, this is good for poultry. It's good for all forms of pork. It's even pretty good on beef, although you'd make some modifications for beef. But for pork and poultry and fish too, this rustic rub works great. So let's just get going. 4 tablespoons of paprika is already in. A tablespoon of cayenne, and you can do more or less cayenne depending on your tolerance for heat. 2 tablespoons of black pepper. And you know how exact you are, just it doesn't matter all that much, but you just don't want to be too far off. 2 tablespoons of black pepper, 3 tablespoons of garlic, that's onion. You can also just put this in a mason jar. It makes it easy to mix. This is just a jar where our pork rub goes. 1½ onion powder. That's about half. 3 tablespoons of salt. And oregano. A couple tablespoons of oregano. I have very precise hand measurements. My hands turn out to be exactly 1½ tablespoons. And 1½ tablespoons of thyme. And the thyme goes in. Give it a good shake. Get it well mixed and incorporated. I'll move some of these spices out of the way. We'll get the ribs front and center. All right, so there's a rack of ribs. We patted it dry. We have peeled the silver skin off the back. All right, and this, what I'm doing next is really, again, kind of a personal preference. You can put the rub right on. You can cover it with oil. I like to do a little mustard. Okay. Then sprinkle it on. Be generous. All right, so we're now going to cut here. We will be putting this in the smoker for a number of hours. There's one step before we make a sandwich, but we'll roll that into the video as well. So we'll come back in a few hours and show you the next step. All right, so we're back at stage 2, and we're getting very advanced in our filmmaking. I've actually gone through a costume change from Johnny Cash to Superman. We're just trying to stay one step ahead of the game. We're entertainers. We don't think one costume always works through all the way through. So the ribs have been in about 3.5 to 4 hours, in that range. And now we're going to be wrapping them in tin foil with a little bit of moisture. We're doing this because we want to make them, well, one, it speeds up the process a bit, but two, we want to make these tender enough that we can slide the bones out for our McRib sandwich. So again, your choice of liquid A&W. Dr. Pepper, we're going with a little bit of Coke today. So I'll fold the sides up, and you don't need a lot, right? I mean, we're just trying to get some steam going, a little bit of flavor. And I am one of the worst tinfoil wrappers ever. I'm glad they don't have contests on wrapping tinfoil. I'd be terrible. You want it tight. And then we'll do one more on there. This is why my better half has to buy so much tinfoil in our budget. We have a tinfoil budget because I'm really not very good at wrapping it. So wrap it up nice and tight. They're going to go back in the smoker for 2 to 3 hours. You can check the tenderness along the way. You can see how it's doing, but you're usually very good at 2.5 to 3 hours. So we'll stop here and then we'll show you the final. The ribs just came out of the oven. This one is still wrapped in foil. I have another rack of ribs over there we've already unwrapped for people who don't want it on a sandwich. We're feeding an army today, but they're super quiet right now, so you can't hear them. But let's attempt to get this sandwich built. And the trick is going to be whether or not we get the bones pulled out of the ribs. So, again, the scratch and smell TV would be, I think you guys would just pass out right now. So, let's get the sandwich on the bread. The meat on the bread. Ooh, it's already falling apart. Okay, this might not be easy. Getting this.
Pick up the tin foil?
No, there's a lot of juice in there. What I think I'm going to do, we'll try to double forklift this thing. Oh, the things we do. All right. Now, let's get this out of the way. And now, the moment of truth. Can we pull these bones out of the McRib sandwich? Well, this one I think comes out pretty easy. Boom. Maybe I'm going to turn it around because some of these look like they're going to be pulling from this side. That is hot. Oh, the things I do for love. I think this is going to work. I do need something to hold. Not easy. This is where the camera crew comes in handy. You're doing good. I'll let you keep going. All right. Barbecue sauce on the McRib. Now, this is a rhubarb chipotle homemade barbecue. We didn't do it on camera. Making barbecue sauce is kind of a tedious, but if enough people like or comment. Comment down below if you want to see how to make rhubarb chipotle barbecue sauce. And honestly, the base is a lot the same, any sort of homemade barbecue sauce. So,
That's not enough. You need more on there.
well, I didn't make any more. So the barbecue sauce is on. Next for the McRib is pickles. And because this isn't pre-processed meat, we got some interesting curvatures to the sandwich here. McDonald's puts like 4 pickles on. They're very cheap with the pickles. We think you should make friends.
I didn't even know they put pickles on there.
Yep. They put pickles, and then they put onion. Maybe, again, they don't put the kind of love and care and excess that we do into a McRib. Did my Instagram director get the picture of this? I don't know how my multimedia, hey, there we go.
This is going to be cooked out.
More or less. Just talking about whether we want to make this a McRib double. I'm not sure that's ever been attempted before. I'm pretty sure this has been tried before. We will not do the double decker. So this is our McRib. This, I'll roll in a picture of what the competition's McRib looks like. The Golden Arch McRib looks like this. Our McRib looks like this. Their clown, after eating one of those sandwiches, looks like this. Our clown looks like this. We like our clown. Our clown's better. Here we go. Right? This is just not going to be easy to take a bite of, but
I cut a bigger slice than that.
no, because you got to do it with one hand. There you go.
Give me
I gave you the end. Yep, I did.
the end. No pickles.
No,
No sauce.
no pickles, no sauce, and no onions on yours. Here,
Look at the ratio of meat on this.
listen, wise guy. Why don't you take this one? There, you got pickles, you got sauce, you got sandwich. All right. Now the moment of truth. Was all this worth it? Was this about 7 hours of sandwich making for a McRib? Full rack of ribs McRib, something like that. Here we go. You know what's going on in my head right now? Visions of our clown eating this. This is, well, if McDonald's McRib is, what would you, have you had their McRib ever?
No.
All right, well, let's say it's a 7 in the world of sandwiches. This would be like a 700. Yeah, it's at least 100 times better. The barbecue sauce is fantastic for this. And then taking your time and actually making real rack of ribs. Smoked for about 3.5 hours and then wrapped in tin foil for about 2.5. That seasoning, that rub is a real spicy, not overly sweet, which is good because the rhubarb chipotle is all the sweet you would need. Thanks for hanging out with us. We got a ton more content coming. We're having a blast. Hope you enjoy it. Have a great week and God bless.